So I'm grinding out a bronze to eternity account right now with playing only Thor. Right now I'm about 30 and 0, and I got to Diamond 2, Diamond 3 or Diamond 2. Those videos will get posted on my channel. I'm going to be posting like how long it took me to get from bronze to silver to gold to whatever. The educational side of that was pretty lackluster, I will admit. Up until now that I'm in Diamond, it's going to be a lot more educational, but for right now it was pretty lackluster. And mainly because from bronze up until about Diamond, the game was pretty much the exact same. And honestly, even in Diamond, I was playing on an account that was in about Grandmaster, and those games were pretty much the exact same as well. But either way, I kind of wanted to go over the biggest things that I was very aware of the entire time I was grinding, that hopefully I can give you guys sort of a mission to grind towards while you're trying to rank up. Because I think a lot of the advice that a lot of players will give is mainly just play the game and learn your heroes and learn what the enemies can do. But I want to give you guys more of an objective to where you can actually take value from the game that you're playing, even if the game is quote-unquote lost or it feels kind of hard. One of the biggest tips that I'm going to give is be creative. What does it mean to be creative? It means find high ground, find ways to attack duelists, find ways to attack strategists. If you want to hit the tanks, don't just awaken them, don't just look at them from the front, come from high ground, push them into your team, ping them. And that's kind of one big thing as well that I should go over before I go into being creative is my key bindings. I don't have anything super set up with my key bindings. I don't have anything changed at all. The only big key bindings I can give you guys that I used to help myself learn the character and help myself go forward was bind the voice chat button to something close. I use my mouse button. I have 2 mouse buttons that I can press, and I use my first one being the voice chat. I'm always letting my team know who I'm going to dive. I'm always letting my team know what the plan is. I'm always letting my Lunas know to use her ultimate and change to damage boost. There's a lot of things I'm always communicating, and it's incredibly important that you're using your voice chat on Thor or any diving character in general. If you're watching me or you watch Andrew, the Venom player, both of us will almost always communicate how fast we're going in, when we're gonna go in, how we're gonna go in, who we're gonna go on. It's really important to communicate that, mainly because in the higher ranks, you really can't get the job done by yourself. And if you're feeling like you're struggling to kill some people, one big tip will always be just having somebody help you out. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to carry the game by yourself, so communicate that difference. It helps immensely. Once you have the communication side down, the next biggest key binding that I use is making sure you know which buildings are breakable and where everything is that is breakable. This button is incredibly important. I'm not sure what it is on console, but on PC it's B, but I just changed it to my other mouse button because I really felt like I needed to know what was breakable on the map everywhere, especially when I was learning the game. It was incredibly important, and I didn't want to just go out of my way to press B. I pressed it obviously enough to where I made it my mouse button. So yeah, those are my 2 creative key bindings. There's no other ones for my hammer throw or for my storm surge. I know a lot of players have like their right click as their storm surge and their hammer throw is like E or something or shift, but I found out that if I were to make my storm surge and my hammer throw something else, then I would never use my hammer throw ever again. The right click honestly kind of forces me to use hammer throw way more because it's so close to my keyboard, and with the newest combo in the game, I really feel like hammer throw is always going to be very valuable, and we can go into that more. That's going to be a whole separate thing, cooldowns, but those 2 are the only 2 big changes I have. So being creative again, yeah, find high ground, push the tanks into your team if you ever want to focus them. If they have a Magneto or a Strange, these are 2 characters that have not a lot of escape at all. Same with Groot, push him into your team, push him over his own walls, or just run at them with Awakening. I have a video up on who the best characters to kill are. If you've not seen that, then go take a peek at that because it's my biggest and most knowledgeable video when it comes down to just diving the enemies and who you should be going for permanently. You don't always have to jump in and pop Awakening. You don't always have to jump in and Storm Surge the enemies into your team. You can be creative and jump in, hammer throw somebody, jump out. You can jump in, slow them down, jump out. You can jump in, hammer throw them, try to kill them with that, and jump out. You can just be a menace in general. You can stall the payload. You can knock supports out of their ultimates. You can knock people off the map. You can be a gosh darn menace with this character. You don't have to be this Awakening bot who gets a bunch of kills. You don't have to be this one guy who sits in front of his team. Thor is incredibly versatile, and that's honestly why I feel like he's one of the best off tanks in the entire game, if not the best off tank in the entire game besides the Thing. And obviously we're seeing how prevalent comps are with the Thing, with Magneto, with Strange. More and more players are playing off tank plus main tank with a shield because they're realizing it's super strong to just be able to punch Strange and Mag through their own shields. I have so many debates and arguments with these players who are just, for some reason, they argue against Thor's strength as a melee character into shields, and it makes no goddamn sense. I don't understand it. These players will literally argue to the ends of the earth on why you should be picking a hit scan or another Strange into a shield. Dog, is your mind so far up your fucking ass that you really think that I should be picking a projectile into a shield? You lock in Strange into these characters because it's good. You lock in Mag into Punisher and Rocket Raccoon so you can just absorb their bullets whenever they're pressing Z, and you can push forward and kill them. And you lock in Thor for killing shield characters, for killing melee characters, for diving the backline. Hopefully, eventually, some of these people can just get their head out of their ass and they can just agree on the fact that Thor is good. He has his own situational plays that he can make, but he's not this horrible character that is just a horrible feeder character. In my opinion, if you have a Magneto or a main tank, he is the best off tank in the entire game. And to be honest, there's no reason why you should never not have a Mag, a Strange, or a Groot. Solo tanking, never good at all on anybody. Even having a Mag or a Strange solo tank is still fucking ass. It's terrible. It's not good. You really want to just have the two tanks, and I really believe that Thing and Thor are the best because of these creative ways you can play. Some games you have to be an Awakening bot, and some games you can get creative. And that goes for almost all the ranks as well. I know it feels like I preface being an Awakening bot quite a bit, and I feel like being an Awakening bot can be really good, especially against diving characters. If they have a Venom or something, you can take a lot of action just by being an Awakening bot and bursting them down the entire time. But you can also do a lot of that by being creative too. I think on domination and on attack, mainly, you just have to get creative with it. Thinking about it, if they're in a scenario where it's like Punisher and two supports, you can't always just go in the backline and jump around like a jackass and push players into your team. But you can do that to the tanks. You can push the tanks in, or you can just Awakening them down and burn their shields, or you can go at them from an angle and try to get them from there. Like how Namor flanks, you can do the same exact thing. Flank behind them and pop Awakening in a doorway. Just get creative with it. Be a weirdo freak. I spent so much time on this one topic because I think that all the things that I'm saying are very valuable, and they may sound redundant, but I've been coaching players for about a month now, and I've been running into players that are, you know, Celestial, Diamond, Plat, Gold, whatever, and I still see the main problem with a lot of these players are they're not creative enough, or if they're on defense, they're a bit too creative. I'm gonna preface this to the day I stopped playing Thor, and let's just get creative with it, boys. Be crazy. You're a diving character for a reason. You're gonna come into my chat and ask me how do you play the character, and I'm gonna give you a bunch of different answers because there's not one way to play the character. He can be played in a million different ways. That's why he's so fun. That's why I love him so much. He's not just a standard shield character who puts a wall up and blocks your team. He's incredibly versatile, and I love playing Thor a lot. Next to being creative, I say practice your combos, boys. There's a new combo out completely that a lot of you guys should be getting down, and if you have not gotten it down, it's going to help you immensely when shredding tanks or when trying to pick off random DPS. It can sometimes screw me over, I will admit that, but that's why I should be practicing it more. I should be able to hit this combo down every single time because it's not crazy. It really is just tap two buttons and then press your Awakening. I can't stress enough how important practice tooling is and how important just landing your combos are going to be. You're going to feel your game change so much more when you start throwing in Hammer Throw as a confident ability whenever you have downtime in between your Lightning Realm not being available to give you more Thor Force, or just not having enough Thor Force because you already went in with your Awakening. Throwing Hammer Throws in between and replenishing your Thor Force by auto-attacking them again, it's super valuable during downtime. It gets me a lot of kills, a lot of secret kills, and a lot of players will almost always come into my chat belittling me, asking me why I use Hammer Throw and if Hammer Throw is even good, because a lot of their favorite Thor players say don't use Hammer Throw. Guys, I have no idea who these favorite Thor players you people are speaking of are, but no one should ever be saying to you don't use a single ability on this character because it's bad. That doesn't even make any sense. There are some characters in League of Legends that you just don't level your abilities into because they're just worthless. They give you no benefit at all, no HP, no passive, nothing. They're just worthless. Hammer Throw is not one of them. Hammer Throw is a very good ability that has a lot of very strong moments that aren't as niche as players may think they are. I'd say a Luna Snow popping her damage boost for you is more niche than your Hammer Throw. So if you feel like Luna Snow damage boosting you is not a niche combo at all, then why do you believe Hammer Throw is? It's not niche. It's very good. I use it every single game. If you think it's bad, you are just lazy. So get your ass in the practice tool and learn this new combo. It's very, very, very strong. If you want a refresher on it, check out the Sovereign's YouTube channel. It'll be in the description of this video, and so will the YouTube short that I made, which is a quick rundown, but the Sovereign has a very, very descriptive video on his channel. He's honestly the GOAT. We needed more Thor tech, and I'm incredibly happy to see way more Thor players just playing the game in general. Any high elo player, they always come into my chat and they want to fight me for my spot. Yo, I'm the #1 Thor, it's not you. I don't give a shit who the #1 Thor is. I just want more Thor players, period. There's nobody playing Thor. There's nobody playing Thor. Pro players don't even give him a chance, and it's so cringe that the thing came out and everyone wants to go on the thing's dick, but bro, why is there no Thor love? He's really good. Very, 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 very good off tank. If you main Thor, stop coming for my head. I'm on your side, bro. We're on the same team. You're fighting demons out here, my guy. You're actually fighting demons. But hey, if the idea of beating me gives you more confidence and makes you want to push further in life, then fucking beat my ass. Print a picture of me, pee on me. I don't give a shit. Just climb, man. I don't care. I want more Thor players up here so we can finally prove this character is actually good. Like, I do not care. I'll see you at the top, boys. But yeah, the next biggest thing, sit on the payload. Sitting on the payload it's honestly massive. I can safely say that in bronze all the way up until, fuck it, even one above all. Players in one above all don't even look at the payload as much. But in bronze, in silver, gold, platinum, diamond, grandmaster, celestial, I guarantee this strategy will work so fucking well, it's not even funny. You may think I'm trolling, you may think I'm just talking out of my ass, but dog, I'm being so serious. If you ever are losing a fight, such a big play is to go behind and just suck the payload off, make sure it can't move, and you just give the entire enemy team AIDS. All they're doing is walking forward. I guarantee nobody in bronze, silver, gold, platinum plus is going to be looking at the payload at the very top of the map, because I'm telling you, even in one above all, nobody does. My duo self did this so many times on Black Panther, and I guarantee he probably sneaks in so many wins because there's so many times, I'm going to say so many times, because there is so many times where the enemy is just tunnel visioning. They don't look at the payload, they don't look at what's going on because they figure it's going to be pushing forward no matter what, because they were just on it. Thor works so well in solo queue for this exact same reason, because not a lot of players call him out as he's diving your backline and murdering your team. But yeah, this is one big part about being creative. Black Panther, Spider-Man, Psylocke, these characters do this incredibly well. I'd say Venom does this great and Thor does this pretty well, but either way, you can still do this as Thor a lot. Look for the goddamn payload, sit on it, and make sure it's not moving. At the end of the day, the game is to get the payload to the end of the map, and if they're not moving it, you're winning. You're winning so hard. Your whole team's fucking dead. Who cares? Because guess what? It's not moving. It's not being moved. Outsmart these opponents and get creative with it. I don't want to ever hear anybody say, oh, well, what could I have done better? Because there's always a thing you can do better. I don't care what you're going to say. There always literally is. Even if your supports aren't ulting, there still is a thing you can do better. You really can. You can be aiming better. You can be maybe diving better. You can be target selecting better. It is what it is. Sometimes they just don't ulti, but hey, take every single loss as you could have done at least one thing better, and I guarantee you're gonna see a lot of progress. Not on some motivational shit, it's just true. Blame yourself for success, blame others for pity. Another massive tip is make sure you're using your cooldowns concisely, cleanly, and patiently. In my opinion, you should almost never be going in unless you have your full combo up. A really big tip that I'm gonna throw at you guys, hopefully you guys can use this because it's honestly something I never really thought about, but now that I'm gonna say it out loud, it kind of just makes sense. If you want to battle the tanks, run at them with your awakening, whether it's a strange shield, a mag shield, a Groot wall, or a Groot period, the thing. If you want to hit the tanks, make sure you're just running at them with awakening, and then pop your lightning realm on them and immediately pop awakening again, so you can get essentially 22 shots of awakening off in the span of about 10 seconds. But if you're diving the back line, never greed for a play like that ever. Always wait for your lightning realm to be available so you can slow them down. If you're going against characters like Invisible Woman as well, or Loki, if they go invisible, your lightning realm, the damage from that will reveal them. Especially against Invisible Woman when she jumps away, it's one of the best plays you can ever do because it not only reveals her, it not only damages her, but it slows her as well. It's an insane play. And the damage from that lightning realm is 40 and the slow is 30%. That's literally 5 damage less than a primary attack, which basically means you're storm surging in, and if you hit it, it's about 40 damage. Then you primary attack, so you hit your storm surge, then you primary attack, and that already is going to be 85 damage. If you add lightning realm in that, that's 120 damage in the span of a second. You're literally storm surge, auto attack, lightning realm, and that's already guaranteed 120 damage. All you need from there against a squishy would be 2 more awakening shots, and they're already dead. Like, that's a crazy combo. And say you miss your storm surge damage, that's why you pop lightning realm. That lightning realm can literally be your storm surge damage. If you're not using lightning realm to go in on and one shot a Hela or a Moon Knight or a Punisher or a Winter Soldier or a Black Panther or a Magic or anybody that I list off, dog, you're trolling. It's probably one of the biggest reasons why you can't execute on final hits is because you're not using your cooldowns correctly. And yeah, boom, right here. Make sure you're popping your lightning realm. Lightning realm is super important. It's huge. The slow is massive. And if you're not going to use it to one shot somebody, then make sure you're using it to one shot somebody with your ultimate, boys. That's going to be the next biggest thing about concise, confident ability usage is be patient with your ultimates. If you're not almost always getting a kill out of your ultimates, you're kind of griefing. And with Lightning Realm or Luna Snow damage bonus or Rocket Raccoon damage bonus, I almost always get a kill with my ultimate. And if I don't, I call myself a troll. There's a really big reason on why Groot and Strange and Mag are so good, period. And it's because their ultimates are just insane. In the pro play of this game, it literally is who can use their ultimates better. So if you're going to get a kill through a Luna Snow ultimate, dog, your character character is insane, and Groot can do that, Mag can do that, Strange can do that, and not only can they do that, but their ultimates are really, really easy to hit. Same with the Thing. How good is the Thing's ultimate? It's literally insane. It's massive. Not only that, but his entire kit allows him to escape, go in, do a lot of damage, but his ultimate period is insane. It knocks up the entire team through a shield. It's gross. Ultimates are gross in this game. They're grossly important. And if you're not making a massive play with yours, you're genuinely trolling. So get that down. There's a lot of abilities that are common that can counter your ultimate as Thor. There's Loki runes. There's Adam Warlock Soulbound. Invisible Woman can use her shield. It can't be used on herself, but she can shield a teammate and then walk over to them and then, you know, use that shield. Either way, it can still block your ultimate. There's Cloak and Dagger's little like cloak move where she goes invisible. There's a lot of ways you can have your ultimate be stopped. So make sure you burn those abilities or look out for them. I don't want to hear you just saying, oh, well, they had Adam Warlock, so I guess they just blocked my ultimate. Or, oh, well, I mean, they just used Luna Snow ultimate, so I guess I just, you know, didn't use mine correctly. No, it's not going to cut it when you get to the higher ranks. You're going to have to land your ultimate on anybody and get a kill with it. You can't just be a detriment to your team because your character is, quote unquote, not as strong. You have to make him work. That's the problem with these characters not being meta, is it's not going to be easy. You can't just roll over, though, and you can't just say, oh, well, it didn't work out this time. I guess it sucks. Of course, that's gonna happen, but at least be conscious about it. At least think about what's going on. My last 2 videos, I've missed some terrible ultimates, and afterwards I always blame myself, and I always make it very apparent to have to make a play afterwards, because if I miss that crap, it's horrible. It's a very big detriment. You cannot be missing your ultimate and having their Groot hit a 5-man, or having their Strange hit a fatty, or having their Mag hit a fatty. It's just not viable. You're getting gapped. So yeah, make sure you pop your ultimate correctly. Make sure you don't just greed it randomly. There's a lot of scenarios where you just kind of greed it, and I want you guys to make sure you're almost always looking over your ultimates every single game and thinking back to yourself, well, how much value did I really get out of my ultimate that game? If it looks like not a lot, then go back on the drawing board, figure out why. And then one big note on that is let yourself lose. Lose games equal improve. That's just how it works. If you lose, you learn. Don't get frustrated on it. Don't just change the character because you're all of a sudden losing the game. I can safely say there are probably some characters in this game that aren't as carry heavy as other ones. You know, there's like Black Panther versus maybe a Squirrel Girl. One character can cause a lot of chaos by jumping around, and one character causes a lot of chaos by just shooting projectiles in the back. But I would say Black Panther causes more chaos a lot easier and a lot better, because in lower ranks it's just harder to deal with diving characters than it is random projectiles coming at you. But either way, my biggest point to that is I've been through the ranks in the trenches, and I can safely say that you can literally go unranked to Grandmaster and have a 100% win rate. We watched Awkward do it, and we're watching me do it. Thor literally can do this. He can climb to the very, very top with 100% win rate. You can get to Celestial, and you don't have to change characters. You can handle Penny Parker really well. Some characters just genuinely can't. In my opinion, Captain America, if they pick Penny Parker, you're screwed. He really, really, really does struggle against characters like he really does struggle against a character like her, and I guarantee you can probably make it work, but with him it's so much harder than just popping Awakening and burning it. So I don't know. I know a lot of characters struggle, but in my opinion, Thor is already a very, very good noob stomper, and he kind of makes a lot of players frustrated, and I can sincerely say, whenever you are a good Thor, people hate it. You're a menace, and it's really annoying for the support staff to deal with a player like you and go against you. I don't know if a lot of other characters in the tank role have the same pressure. I'm just here to say that you can do this. You can get to the very top and you can win all of your games. You don't have to change off the character because you're losing. You genuinely can win every single game. You got this. He's very, very good into every single character. I would say in Diamond, the best bans for you are going to be Wolverine and Namor. Those characters are really, really horrible to deal with, but when you're in the lower ranks, players don't really aim as well. So if you're dealing with those characters, just try to get creative with it. If Wolverine's constantly diving you and looking at you, then try to save your Awakening until after his jump goes off, or make sure you can just spot out whenever he's using his jump, and then you can pop Awakening to try to burn him down during that time. Call him out more for your team, and ping the Namor squids, if those are ever in the game. Try to burn his bubble constantly, and whenever he doesn't have his bubble up, make sure you're always trying to fight him. That's one of the biggest cooldowns to always watch out for, making sure Hela has no bird, Namor has no bubble. Escapes are very important, and they're as important as Adam Warlock Soulbound or Loki runes. You gotta watch out for those things. Any escape can really screw you over, especially when you're ulting. So yeah, just be more aware of those abilities that are in the game. I hope these small tips help. Hope they allowed you guys to maybe find some more points, find some more ranks. Educational videos will be coming out, or I guess not educational, but the unranked bronze games will be coming out. And then stay tuned for the actual educational series when I'm in Diamond. It's gonna be a lot more easy to kind of go over what I'm doing, but still, when I was playing the games today, they're pretty manga-esque Papega, I can't lie. A lot of the games are really just me diving the backline and murdering them, and then I say to you guys, oh hey, I'm gonna kill them here, and it's hard to really elaborate more because I just out-aim the opponents. But that's not me saying I'm better than them and I'm flexing on them. That's me just kind of saying it's possible to just go in the backline, and even if I'm not killing these guys, I'm still putting pressure down. So I'm not saying you guys have to replicate what I'm doing exactly and murder the opponents, but if you're still making the play and it wasn't executed correctly because you just, didn't have that good of aim, it's not a bad play. In my opinion, it's still good to make good play. If it doesn't work out well, at least you can still say to yourself, it was a good play and you weren't able to flank. Whenever you give up and you say to yourself, I'm just not good enough to make these plays, then that's when you just stop making them. And that's when you stop having fun and getting creative with Thor. And that's when you probably would have stopped climbing because you hit like a ranked anxiety spike and you sit here and think that you lost a bunch of the games because of yourself, but in reality you're just learning the game. So don't stop getting creative with it because you had unlucky times a couple of times in a row. Stay creative, get high ground, dive the back line. That's what Thor does best, baby. He's a monster at being a menace. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and if you lose that confidence, then you're just not taking any shots at all, boy. You're just leaving the ball in the enemy's court, or maybe to a teammate, but you're not taking the shot at all. So make sure you're taking your shots. Last piece of advice, take your goddamn shots, boys. Peace, 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 yo, peace. 2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more